Tulipoanza miaka mitano sasa kushirikiana na CDC kutekeleza wajibu wa kusaidia
knowing that the needles are going through your body, especially knowing that they are going to have to go through, that's the freaky part. But then knowing that you're donating the blood and saving a life, that is the most wonderful experience.
We're having the blood drive, which is a blood donation session. We are targeting the public. Right now we are at Biashara Street, which is where the truck is. We are here for today.
We are a 10-year-old organization, non-profit, based here in Kenya. We been doing blood donor recruitment since 2004. We work all around the country, and we've been fortunate enough to get funding partners who've supported our work up to date. Initially, we only had a staff of 3, but I've seen that grow to around 12 currently. Our initial engagement was with the Ministry of Health, with the National Blood Transfusion Service, which is a department of the Ministry of Health. And what we sought to do was to recruit blood donors on behalf of the ministry. And so our focus was to make sure that we went out and recruited people who are over 18. The avenues that we identified for doing this were the workplace. Of course, we were asking ourselves after school, where do our young people go? And how can we get them to continue donating blood? Because if you ask them, they'll tell you they last donated in school.
I had it in school when I was yet in school, high school, and I knew about the blood donation, and I came here to donate the blood.
It was my first time, and then I saw a needle. Of course, I was scared, but then I had to relax a bit. I pumped a bit of blood, then that was it. A few minutes later, I was done, and now I'm good to go.
So again, we asked ourselves, where are these over 18s? Of course, they go to colleges, universities. So we started engaging with universities, and we've been successful in ensuring that at least students in the universities know where to donate blood if they wanted to donate. Our partners are mainly the staff of the Ministry of Health, the National Blood Transfusion Service, because we do not have the technical capacity to actually bleed or even process the blood. So our work starts and stops at actually mobilizing and recruiting members of the public to become blood donors, create the avenue where they can donate blood. So whether we are using our mobile truck, or we are using tents, or we are using a room within the office of the organization, we organize all those details, and then the National Blood Transfusion Service staff come and lead the donors and collect the blood.
My name is Hezekiah Mwaneki. I'm the project coordinator for Text for Life project, which I have been in charge of since the year 2010, towards the end of 2010, but the project kicked off in earnest in the beginning of 2011. Text for Life project is an SMS and a blood donor database. Basically, it's a blood donor database that is connected to an SMS gateway. So we do collect information from the donors. Every time a donor presents him or herself to a donation site, there is a form that they usually fill, a questionnaire, which informs their eligibility. But also it has a bit of biodata that we collect and we key it into our systems. So the same now, we for example, the telephone number helps us to be able to communicate to them, and also put in this information into a database for the purposes of easier retrieval of the records of these blood donors. as a country, I think we've been having challenges in having adequate blood supply, and most in terms of regular blood donations, because the country has adopted the policy of non-remunerated blood donors. That is, people who are willing to give their blood at no cost in terms of their expectations. Mostly we focus in getting people to become regular blood donors, because in that way, that is how we are able to sustain blood supply for the country. So for the longest time, we haven't been able to meet the demand as a blood service, and stakeholders try to see what can be done to improve the collections. And this was one of the initiatives that was seen as a way of being able to have a pool of blood donors who are regular and who can be reached at by the blood service. So the initiative was basically to help us bridge the gap in terms of blood need in the country, in the terms of having regular blood donors whom we could always reach at, but also to start a communication process between the blood service and the blood donor. The need had been established, and the essence of why the justification was there for why we could have this communication process between the blood donor and the blood service. And in the year 2010, we were glad to have Rockefeller come on board to help giving the seed capital for the initial pilot of the whole system. So the initial partners now became the National Blood Transfusion Services, which is under the Ministry of Health, BloodLink Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, and CDC Kenya, who are offering technical support for the project. The reception was great from the donors. They were very appreciative. I think over 60% of the messages was appreciative when they receive a thank you text message telling them thank you for donating blood.
What has helped us is HIV, has been approached by various other players. Issues of VCT have been addressed. HIV workplace policies have been put in place through other initiatives. So this has made our work a lot easier.
This truck is special in its own way because, number one, it is a mobile truck. It is able to move from one place to another. Number two, it has everything in one place. It has the counseling room, it has a refreshment area, it has 3 beds inside. So it makes blood donation activity much, much easier than previously how we used to have it, where we used to use a tent. The only challenge I would mention is that sometimes when you get overwhelmed or when you have so many people coming in to donate blood, we sometimes have to make some of them wait. But then again also, that also comes as an advantage because the truck in itself is it's very branded in that it is able to attract so many people. So as much as it is a disadvantage, it is also an advantage for us. Daily basis, the truck can bleed up to around 70 to 100 people, but on the minimum it can bleed around 30 to 40 people.
Of course, we recruit blood donors, and once you donate blood, that 1 unit that you collect goes to assist 2 or 3 patients. We know that without blood when you need it, the chances that you'll survive without the blood are very limited. So, the unit that you donate actually goes to saving 2 or 3 lives. And I'd say with the blood that we collect, numerous lives have been saved. But also the other benefits that come out of this is that people have been able to access their health status. Blood is screened for other markers as well, other diseases like hepatitis B and C. So the results of this screening are available to any donor who wishes to access them. So the other benefits that have come around from our work is that now people are able to access their health status. You're able to know your HIV status, for example, and not just for future blood donation, but also as a young person, if you want to remain negative, or even if you're positive, that helps you in in determination of the way forward, whether you're put on treatment, whether you're referred for treatment, it's important that you know your status first. So for those that know their status is positive, they can be referred onwards for treatment. So obviously our most critical partner is the Ministry of Health. But we have other partners, the donors that give us the funding to enable us what we do. In the past, we've had people like USAID, we've had Family Health International. Currently, we are working with CDC and Liverpool VCT or LVCT Health. And we have others like CDC Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation. We've had many donors, but also we've worked with many corporates who have supported us financially, but not just financially, they've also supported us in terms of ensuring that we get the workforce to donate blood when we need them. One of the projects that we've implemented very successfully is an SMS communication tool. Currently, there's about 60,000 donors on that database. These are donors who we even know their health status, so we know whether they're healthy or not. We can communicate with them through SMS to remind them the next time they need to donate blood. We also remind them when we screen their blood and the results are ready, we remind them to come and collect their results. In case of an emergency, we can reach out to them and appeal to them to come forward and donate. Again, we know their blood groups. So again, if there is need for a certain blood group, we can segregate that database so that we appeal to for example, the rare blood groups when they are needed. We can appeal for the A negatives to come forward and donate blood.
Miaka mitano sasa kushirikiana na CDC kutekeleza wajibu wa kusaidia kuangamiza HIV kwa nia moja. LVCT ikatuleta pamoja tukaungana, brought us together under the umbrella. We stand together and fight against this disease. Ungana, simama, pamoja.